Welcome to the Coffee Playdate Podcast. I'm your hostess, Dr. Olga Deengar, and this is the place where I chat with entrepreneurs and physicians doing incredible things outside of medicine. Today we have a very special guest joining us, Dr. Katrina Skinner. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
So happy to have you. I'd like to always ask my guests, what kind of coffee do they like to drink if they like coffee? So what's your favorite type of coffee?
The one that I make for myself, and it's a latte with Fairlife milk and a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top.
I love cinnamon. I'm actually a big cappuccino drinker. So we're going to start off with a couple of games. The first one's going to be rapid fire questions. Just choose the answer that comes to your mind first. And this is based on what you like. So do you like medical journals or business books?
Business books.
How about attending a conference or presenting at one?
I guess attending.
How about attending a retreat or hosting a retreat?
Hosting.
Nice. And the last question is, do you prefer leading a team or mentoring a peer?
Leading a team. But I like both.
Nice.
It's hard to choose one.
I know it's hard to choose, right? Okay, good. The next game is called Take a Sip. So we both have our coffee cups here. And for the following questions, we have to choose between one answer or the other. If our answers match, we both take a sip. And if they don't match, we don't take a sip. Here we go. First question, yoga in the morning or in the evening?
Morning.
Morning. I love that coffee cup. Can you show that again? It says, ooh, this calls for a spreadsheet. Amazing. Okay, next question is cooking or knitting? Cooking.
Yeah, right now cooking.
Okay, great. Next one is a quiet weekend at home or a spontaneous trip away?
That weekend at home right now.
I would say spontaneous trip away. It depends on what you've been doing lately, right?
I've had lots of trips, so.
Yeah. And then the last question is beach sunrise or mountain sunset?
Beach sunrise.
Mountain sunset. I would say sunset. I love sunsets. Are you, do you like sunrises?
I just like the beach more than the mountains.
Yeah.
And I tend to be an early riser, so I do catch sunrise sometimes.
Oh, perfect. All right. So, Katrina, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what kind of businesses do you run?
Sure. So I am a pediatrician by training. I opened a practice in my hometown, basically laying the groundwork, building the office during my third year of residency. And we saw our first patient 6 weeks after I graduated. And that was over 16 years ago. Since then, I have felt compelled to start some other businesses that support pediatricians. And so the first one is Women in Pediatrics, which hosts live in-person retreats for female pediatricians. And we provide content that's geared more toward personal or professional development, as well as community building. The next pediatrician-focused company that I started is called Pediatrics CEO. And that, again, is in-person events, some virtual training, but it's to help pediatricians who own their own practices gain that business knowledge that we didn't get in medical school. I have another company that does social media marketing for pediatricians to help take that off their plate. And I dabble in some real estate, so I have that as well.
Oh my goodness. You are running multiple businesses, a serial entrepreneur. How do you handle it all?
Well, I don't. I think that's the big secret that people don't realize is I don't do it all myself. I have really great systems, automations, and teams in place to help me bring my vision to life.
That's incredible. I did want to ask, did you always think about opening up your own practice right out of graduation?
No, I didn't really think about that seriously until probably my second year of residency. I always thought I would just go work at the local practice in town where I had been a patient as a child, but it just ended up that they didn't have a space for me. My dad is an entrepreneur, so I was very familiar with being self-employed, running your own business. And so it really wasn't too scary to me at the time. Of course, I was young. And so I think when we're younger, we don't realize all the things that could go wrong or all the problems that could pop up, but it's all worked out for the best.
That's great. And what is one problem that you faced and maybe a lesson that you've learned from it?
I would say the biggest thing I've learned, and this is what I tell everyone anytime I speak publicly, and that's something that I learned from a mentor early in practice. I was about a year in. I had been completely solo, on call 24/7, admitting patients to the hospital, attending deliveries, seeing newborns every day, and coming into the practice 5 days a week to see patients. And I was just burned out. And so I didn't know what the next step was. And so I called a mentor who was on basically the opposite end of his career just to say, you have a practice that I admire. What's the next step I should take now to help me get to where you are, 30 years down the road? And I was expecting like some spreadsheets or, reports or KPIs. And instead, what he told me was every year, try to do more of what you love and less of what you don't. So I was a little frustrated at first because I thought, that doesn't solve my immediate problem. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it really is the best advice. And so that became my mantra every year, thinking what's on my plate that I really don't enjoy that I could outsource elsewhere. And then what are the things that I do enjoy so I could bring more of that into my time.
What is one of your passions? What's some of the things that you enjoy?
Well, I love throwing a party and hosting people. So I also enjoy teaching. Hosting conferences helps me to do all of those things. And also traveling, it gives me the opportunity to travel, which I really do enjoy as well.
That's incredible. I'm very excited to be part of the Women in Pediatrics conference for 2026.
No,
It's
we're
going to be
very excited
amazing.
to have you.
Thank you. What kind of mindset did you need to have as you were building all of these businesses, especially opening up new ones?
Yeah, I think just knowing that you can do it, having an idea of what the bigger vision is and keeping that front and center, because there are going to be little things every day that try to derail you or that will distract you away from your goal if you don't have a clear vision of what that is. And so that's what I would say is get honed in on that, get tied to it, think about it all the time. And then that will make it easier to solve to put out the fires that come up from day to day.
That's amazing. And what are some of the things that you enjoy doing outside of work?
Well, you kind of touched on some of them. I do like yoga. I enjoy knitting. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy entertaining and hosting. I read every day. Let's see what else. I'm traveling. I think that probably is certainly those are the things I'm enjoying.
We have a lot of things in common, that's for sure. Very good. And what is a book recommendation that you have for our listeners today?
I was thinking about that, and I think I'm going to recommend a nonfiction book, even though I read 15 minutes of development reading in the morning, and then I read just my fiction, brain bubble gum at night. But I think if I had to pick, can I tell you 3 books?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the 3 this year that have been most impactful to me, one is called Unreasonable Hospitality, and it's by Olga Deengar. And that one is just, I think, doesn't matter what kind of business you have. It's based on restaurant business, but the things that he teaches apply to all types of businesses. So I think Unreasonable Hospitality. I also think Atomic Habits by James Clear. That one's been out for a while, but that one is just really good at helping you kind of get focused on what's important and learn how to create the rituals that will make you successful. And then the last one I would say is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. That one really is revolutionary when helping you understand why you need to be delegating and automating. So I would highly recommend that one as well.
I love those books. Buy Back Your Time is actually the next book I'm planning to read. So very excited for that.
Get ready. It's a good one.
And is there one piece of advice that you would leave our listeners with if someone is just starting out on their entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, I think it's some advice I learned from my grandmother when I was young. And she always told me, you have not because you ask not. And I think that that is so important, especially for female entrepreneurs, because it goes against our grain. And there are so many times in my life where if I hadn't asked, I never would have gotten anything. But the fact that I got the courage up, took the energy to ask. So many doors have been opened and so many opportunities have been created because of that. So that would be my parting advice.
I love that. It actually is very relevant to some of our listeners that think, well, if I put myself out there, if I ask someone to help me out with something, wouldn't I be kind of burning that bridge if I'm not truly ready yet? What would you say to that?
No, I don't think so. I think people who are where you want to be, they understand what it takes to get there. And doing due diligence is a big part of that. So if you're just in an information gathering stage, I would definitely reach out to people that represent what your vision is so that you can understand the steps that they took to get.
Thank you so much, Katrina. It's been such
You're
a pleasure
welcome.
having you.
So much. And I can't wait to see you in April when you come visit.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait for that. Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks for joining the Coffee Playdate Podcast. Hit subscribe, tune into the next episode, and I'll see you at the next coffee chat.